Welcome to your yoga class, everyone. Let's take a couple of minutes just to turn your attention inwards, start to become aware of your whole body. I was saying recently to some students that a lot of times it seems people aren't aware of the whole body. They're just like a head floating around the world. So see if you can be aware of your whole body, feel your spine, feel whatever's touching the ground, make adjustments as needed to get yourself in a good neutral sitting position, which might be different than what your normal sitting position is. So we want to find neutral here. If normal is slouchy, then find neutral, which is not slouchy. Use props, chairs, blankets. We'll take just about 2 minutes here, connecting the mind and the body and the breath all together. The breath is one of the tools that is used to bridge that gap between where my mind is and where my body is, because the breath happens now. And if I'm aware of my breath, then those two things are more linked up. Okay, and open the eyes. We'll do two movements seated that we're gonna do lying down, but we'll do them seated first, and you can see a little bit better what's going on with the arms. So get your arms in a T, and then just bend your elbows 90 degrees. You got the palms of the hands facing the floor. Forearms are in front, so they're not out here. Forearms are out in front, elbows are shoulder height. So you just took your straight elbows and you just bent them 90 degrees. Yeah, good. Palms face the floor. Keep nice straight wrists and fingers. So if you spread your fingers a little bit, that's going to bring some tension in the wrists. So hopefully the wrists won't bend. And then on the inhale, you just start to take your forearms more upright. Feel how your shoulder blades kind of slide a little bit down the back, and then go back to where you started. And then go the opposite direction. Keep those nice straight wrists, and let the forearms go down, fingertips face more towards the floor. Feel the opposite movement in your shoulder blades, and then back to neutral. We'll do that one more time, sitting upright, back to neutral. And then fingertips go down. Remember, keep the wrists nice and straight. Elbows about shoulder height. Tendency is people's elbows go down, so keep your elbows lifted. And then back to neutral. Go back to vertical forearms. And now we're going to exhale and slowly bring it towards the middle. If you can touch the hands, great. You might be able to touch the elbows, or it might take you a few rounds. Really squeeze the chest. And then on the inhale, pull the arms out towards the floor. Not towards the floor, towards the wall behind you. We're going to do it on the floor in a second, though. Two more. Squeeze slowly and smoothly in the front. Feel the chest muscles. Shoulder blades are broad. Collarbones are narrow. And then do the opposite. Open the elbows. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing and the collarbones getting broad. And then relax, shake it out. Let me just show you briefly what those two look like lying down, because sometimes when we switch the orientation to gravity, the brain gets really confused. So remember, we started here, so if we just take that to the floor, that means from a T position, you bent your elbows, fingertips face the ceiling. And then it will be the same movement we did before. And one of the key things here is to keep those wrists nice and straight. What tends to happen is people start to take the backs of the hands and the backs of the forearms towards the floor. They think the goal is to touch the floor, and they do this with the wrists. So they're bending the wrists to try to get some part of the fingers touching the floor. For today, I'd rather have you focus on really straight, stiff wrists, and it stops where it stops. And then you come back through where the starting position, and then you're going the other way. And again, keep the straight wrist. People tend to want to dip the fingers to touch the floor. Touching the floor is only important to your ego. It's not important for this particular movement. So that's what that one's going to look like lying on the back. And then the second one, we start open, and then it'll be closing and pressing open. All right, so go ahead and lie down on your back. I tend to suggest doing these with bent knees, but if you wanted to do it with straight legs, I don't see why that wouldn't be appropriate. Take your arms out to a T. Keep your elbows and your upper arms on the floor, and bend the elbows so the forearms are vertical. Fingertips face the ceiling. And get those spread fingers. Remember, think kind of stiff wrists. Imagine your wrists were in casts, that you couldn't bend your wrists. And on the inhale, backs of the hands, backs of the forearms towards the floor. Try not to compensate by doing something with your wrists. And then start to go back to where you started, and then go the opposite direction with those stiff wrists, palms of the hands. Fronts of the forearms towards the floor. Don't force it, and do that 3 more times, nice and easy. As the backs of the hands go towards the floor, that's an outward rotation of the shoulders. And as you go the other way, that's an inward rotation. And again, you could exaggerate what's happening with the shoulder blades as you take backs of the hands towards the floor. Press the elbows down and squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit. And then as you go the other way, palms of the hands towards the floor. You can almost squeeze your chest and pull the shoulder blades off the floor a little bit. One more. And then relax your arms out to a T for a moment. Open and close the hands a few times from fists. Okay, and then get your cactus lying on the floor as best you can. It doesn't matter if the backs of the hands are touching the floor. They don't for everybody. And this will be the inhale, and then exhale like we did when we were seated. Just going to start to close the arms towards the middle. So the elbows are closing up over the chest. Forearms, palms of the hands closing up over the face. Squeeze for a second. And then nice and smooth, open. Back out to the sides, press back into the floor, and do 3 more of those. Squeeze to the center, pause, really feel the chest muscles that are squeezing, and then as you open, those chest muscles have to lengthen, and now the back muscles are doing the work of opening the arms. Press them open. 2 more. Nice and smooth. Open, move with your breath. And then relax the arms on the floor, relax them. Straighten the legs for a moment. Let's circle the ankles a few times here with your straight legs. Reverse. relax the ankle movement for a couple breaths. And then bend the knees, soles of the feet together, knees are open. And pay attention to your pelvis and your lower back here. So try to stay lightly engaged through the core so the pelvis doesn't spill forward and arch your back away from the floor. So for these first few rounds, we're going to try to keep the pelvis from moving, which might mean that the knees don't go as far down. So this will be the inhale end position. Exhale as you slowly start to squeeze the legs. You'll adjust the feet so soles of the feet are flat. When you get to the top, you squeeze the knees together. And again, try not to move the pelvis. You're not trying to flatten the back or anything here. Keep it nice and neutral. And then open, slow and smooth. Make sure you don't go too far that the hips stop moving and it starts to move the pelvis. Squeeze back to the center. Squeeze together for a couple seconds. 2 more of these. So again, right now we're focusing on hips moving, pelvis, core strong. Squeeze. 1 more of these. Squeeze. Relax, straighten the legs for a moment. Roll the legs if you want. Rest for a couple breaths. Bend the knees, soles of the feet together again, bound angle. And then come back to that cactus, open on the floor. So you got your chest open and your knees open. And then we're going to combine these 2 movements. The first few rounds, again, I'm going to have you pay attention to keeping the pelvis from moving. And then for the last few rounds, we'll let the lower back get involved. So inhale here where you're at. Exhale, slowly start to close the knees and the elbows at about the same time. Squeeze the hands and the knees together. Maybe the elbows touch, maybe they don't. Open again. Remember, these first 3 rounds, we're trying to keep the core strong and not let the pelvis tip. And then close towards the middle, smooth. Squeeze for a few seconds. 1 more of those, open. Squeeze. And then this time as you open, go ahead and tip towards the tailbone, let your belly lift towards the ceiling a little bit and do a cow tilt to the spine. And then exhale, close, and as you close, tuck the tail and flatten the back. And feel how it's a little different to let the pelvis move now. Open, pelvis tips forward. You might feel like your hips are a little more open, but really it's just you're allowing the pelvis to tip. And then squeeze in the center. Flatten the low back. 1 more here. Same movement of the hips and the shoulders, allowing the pelvis to get involved if it feels comfortable. Okay, relax, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, roll anything out if you want. We'll take about 5 breaths, noticing how you're feeling after that section on the floor. All right, bend the knees, Decide which side you're gonna roll to. Support the head. Pause for about 2 breaths lying on your side. And press your way up and make your way up to standing. And go towards the short edge of the mat, towards the front. We'll do a few sun salutes. Reminder, make it your own, do your own pace. Modify things, knees up, knees down, puppy pose, downward dog, whatever works for your wrist and everything else. Inhale, sweep the arms up over the head. Fold forward, bending the knees a little bit, really hinging at the hips. Slide the hands down. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades slightly. And then hands all the way down. Step the feet back. Lower down, knees go down first or keep them up. Lift the chest, whether you press through the hands or lift the hands to lift the chest. Lower the chest and go back to puppy on the knees or down dog, knees up. Feel free to move around in either one of those poses. Check your breathing. Remember, the breath is a tool to keep the mind and the body in the present moment. Two more breaths here, puppy or downward dog. Begin stepping your feet forward. Slide the hands up the legs, get that long spine, tuck chin, long neck. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, start to slide up the legs, eventually sweep the arms wide and up. And then relax, arms down by the sides. We'll do 2 more of those. Arms go up. Fold forward. Remember, find your own pace. Do more bend in the knee or less. Half lift. Or it's not just about lifting, it's about lengthening. Hands down, step back. Pause for a moment and your knees up or knees down plank and lower down. Lift the chest. Lower down, puppy or downward dog. If you have any wrist issues, maybe stay in puppy pose. Or you could do dolphin, which is essentially down dog on the forearms. Nice steady breaths here. Stepping the feet forward. Get that half lift, long spine position. Fold. Start to lift and lengthen the spine again, and then keep lifting all the way up. Arms down by the sides. Pause for a breath. Then we'll do 1 more of those. Arms up. Forward fold. Half lift and lengthen. Plant the hands where you go straight to down dog or flow through, knees up or down. And we'll meet at puppy or downward dog or child's pose even. Check your neck and head position. Check the tip of your pelvis, finding a fairly neutral, long-ish spine. Stepping the feet forward. Come into that lifted halfway long spine position and then fold. Start to lift the spine, lengthen it, and then sweep it up. And arms down by the sides. Okay, grab your strap, please. And if you have one with a metal buckle, I recommend putting that buckle in one of the hands so it's not floating around. So you get the buckle in one hand and then straighten the elbows, take the other hand and slide it away from the one that's holding onto the buckle. So get your hands definitely wider than the shoulders. And that'll be something you can play around with as we start the movement. So you could certainly go wider or narrower with the hands. So you're pulling the strap apart, keep those straight elbows and bring it up just a comfortable amount. Straight elbows, so if your elbows are bending, try a wider or narrower stance. Nice neutral head, crown of the head, reaching towards the ceiling. Keep the elbows straight and let the right arm start to get heavy and start to pull you to the right. Neither arm bends if you can help it. And then back to the center. With those straight elbows, still pulling the strap apart, let the left arm get heavy and start to pull you that way. Good. Back to the center. We'll do each side 2 more times. Right arm heavy. Center. Straight elbows if possible, but if it feels more comfortable to bend, elbow certainly could. Back to the center. Stay engaged in the core. 1 more each side. Those look great. Back to the center, bring the arms down in front of you. Relax that tension on the strap, roll your shoulders. And then take your hands closer together, maybe more hip distance apart. Pulling the strap apart with narrower hands, now bend the knees. Bring the strap up about chest height. And then again, you're keeping your straight elbows and pulling the strap apart, and you turn to the right, back to the center, and turn strap to the other side. And go back and forth 2 more times each side. Keep those elbows straight as you can get them. Really pull apart and punch the fists forward. That's it. 1 more each side. Straighten knees, relax. Get a little looser grip on the strap, roll the shoulders again. I'm going to do 1 more round. We're going to combine those 2 movements together, kind of, with the legs staying straight. So again, you got the buckle in one hand, slide the other hand apart. Maybe almost as wide as the first one, but you could try narrower. Pull the strap apart, bring it up over the head. Knees stay straight, and with the arms up over the head, turn a little bit to the right, and then let the right arm get heavy and pull you a little bit back and to the right. And then back to the center. Turn to the left. Left arm gets heavy. Do a side bend kind of back and to the left. Good. Back to the center, untwist. 2 more times each side. Keep those elbows as straight as you can. Turn to the right, right arm heavy. It's like you're punching your left fist towards the ceiling. Back through the center. Twist first, and then add that little side bendy action. back to the center. You really got it. This works your core. It also releases some tension in the core. Twist right, lean right, center. Twist left, lean back into the left, center. Lower the strap, set it out of the way. Shake it all out. Okay, next we're going to do a couple balance poses, so feel free to go near a wall or a piece of furniture. And if possible, I'd like you to be able to use both hands to hold on to the back of the thigh. So that means if you're going to use the wall, you can either put yourself close to the wall so your buttocks can lightly touch the wall, so you can use both hands, or stand close enough that you can kind of touch one of your arms to the wall. You kind of wing that elbow out and touch it to the wall, so you can use both hands. And just pick a knee and pull that thigh up. Press a little bit up through the sternum. Draw lightly in through the belly. Reach through the top of the head. Shoulder blades slide downwards towards the hips. 2 more breaths. Okay, set that foot down. And then other side, same thing. Bend the knee, draw the thigh up into the hands. Get all that engagement that I talked about just a moment ago. Make sure the leg that you're standing on, you haven't locked the knee or hyperextended it. And release that. Okay, we'll go back to balancing in a moment, but first come to the front short side of the mat. Bend the knees, just reach your arms out in front, shoulder height. And then exhale, fold. Lift halfway. Bend the knees, get the hands down, and go ahead and walk the feet back. Plank, knees up or knees down, you decide. Lower down with stability and control. Press through the chest. And then downward dog. Pause for 2 breaths here. And next, if you can start to walk the hands backwards on your mat, probably bending the knees to get your weight in your feet. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. So you're now towards the back of the mat. Arms by the sides. Turn your left toes out just a little bit to keep the heel grounded. Hop the right foot forward, maybe 2 times, 2 or 3 times. So you get a good enough stance for a warrior 1. Bend the right knee. Back leg nice and strong. Fire up the buttock. And let's do, give yourself a hug here. So take the left arm on the bottom and get your hands as far back on your shoulder blades as you can. Breathing here. And release your hug. Hands to the floor. You can let your left foot heel lift. Step back. You can go straight to down dog, or if you want to go through plank and lower down and lift your chest again, you could do that. Two breaths in down dog. And once again, start to walk your hands back on the mat. Get your heels down, weighten your feet, and then slowly, carefully come up. Arms by the sides. Pause for a breath. And then you turn the right toes out just a smidge. Start to step the left foot forward, maybe 2 or 3 times. Bend the left knee, ground through the little toe side of the right foot, turn on the right side glutes, and then do right arm under the left, again with the hug. Two more breaths here. Those look nice. I don't think most of us get enough hugs, so this is nice. And then open the arms, hands down. You can let that right heel lift. And same options, you can go straight to down dog or step back and flow through if you want. We'll meet in down dog for about 3 breaths. And step forward. Do that half lift, long spine. And relax and fold. And then you kind of start to come up through that half lift, long spine, and then come all the way up. Arms down by the sides. Okay, we're gonna go back for another balance pose. So again, if you need some balance help, maybe have your buttocks towards the wall. So this time you're gonna bend the knees. You can rest the buttocks lightly on the wall if you want. And get the right knee up, cross it over the left. Some people can wrap that top of the foot around the calf, most people can't. And then do the left arm on the bottom. You can do the hugging position again, or forearms towards the center. So you basically do an eagle pose here. Keep that head stacked over the rest of your spine and make sure it's neutral. So if your chin is up and you're looking forward, you're going to tuck the chin. You should be looking a bit down on the floor, maybe about, 10 feet in front of you or so. Two more breaths. Okay, release, shake it out. Pause, take a couple breaths of mountain pose. And then other side, start to bend both knees. Maybe you could rest the buttocks lightly against the wall. Cross the left leg on top of the right. And then right arm on the bottom. Hug or forearms to the center. I think I switched up the arms there. If I didn't, do your other side. Two more breaths. Okay, open it out, relax, shake it out. Okay, come back onto your mat, have your strap. And put the buckle in the left hand. And take that left arm, bring it forward and up. And then I'm gonna turn around so you can see the back side of me. And then you're bending the left elbow. So now that tail of the strap is hanging down, kind of along your spine. And then take your right arm, palm faces behind you, start to bend the elbow, and get your right hand holding on to the strap, kind of down by your sacrum area. And then you're gently is the key word, pull a little bit down with the right hand and push the left elbow towards the ceiling. It's not a movement as much as it is an action. So you pull down, press up, and then soften both of those actions, and then do it 2 more times. Pull gently down, press up. Don't aggravate your shoulder, relax. 1 more time, pull down, press up, and relax. Drape that strap across your shoulder, roll out the shoulders, or bounce them up and down, shrugging them a few times. And then other side, strap in the right hand. Arm goes forward to get up. Start to bend the elbow. You got that strap hanging down your back. And then left palm faces behind you, bend the elbow. The back of the hand kind of slides across the back or the sacrum. And then same action, pulling gently down with the left and pressing up with the right. And then soften that. Remember, it's not a big movement. Pull down and press up. Stay strong in the core so this doesn't become a low back movement. Relax. 1 more time. Left hand pulls down, right elbow presses up. And then relax. Release the strap. Set it out of the way again for now. Shake out your shoulders or bounce them. And from the front of the mat, feet mountain pose-ish distance apart. Step your left foot back, a couple of feet, so you're keeping your legs straight, so it's not as far back as you did for your warrior pose. This will be intense side stretch. Straighten both legs. Imagine you were trying to drag your feet in towards the middle of the mat, but they're not going to move, and that squeezing in action is going to square you off. Let's reach the arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades, tuck the chin, and then keeping a nice long spine, hinge at the hips. Really stay present in your body for the moment where your chest wants to collapse and your back starts to round, and then you back off and keep that nice long spine. Reach through the top of the head. Those look great. Two more breaths, very nice. And then press down through both feet, torso comes up, relax through the arms, left foot forward. Wiggle around for a moment. Start with your mountain pose feet, hop the right foot back. Comfortable mount. Straighten both legs. Do that pressing down through the feet like you were drawing them inwards towards the middle of the mat. Reach up through the head, reach back through the arms. Keep that chin tucked so as you fold forward, right now your gaze is probably at whatever is in front of you at about eye level. And as you fold, your head just moves in space, but if you keep looking eye level in front of you, you're gonna end up with your chin lifted, which is not what I suggest. So keep your chin tucked, back of the neck long. So you're probably looking down on the floor somewhere. Again, really stay present in your body for that point where the chest starts to collapse and the back wants to round, and then you back off a little bit and re-engage those arms, spine, and shoulders. 2 more breaths. Lovely. Press down through the feet, torso comes up, relax and soften through those arms and shoulders. Step forward, shake it out. Couple breaths in mountain pose. And from here, make your way down to sitting. Have your strap nearby. You might want your blocks or a couple of blankets. So have everything in your general area. And first position is going to be seated bound angle or Baddha Konasana. So we did this recline, soles of the feet touching, knees opening out. Find the comfortable position for your hips and your knees. If some support is needed for that to be comfortable, then add support for the weight of those leg bones. Lengthen, and then you can stay more upright if you prefer. You can lean backwards into the hands if you do a lot of sitting over a desk or something. Maybe the backwards leaning chest opening version would be nice today. Or you could do a bit of a forward lean, but again, try to avoid getting too slouchy. Most of us spend enough time slouchy as it is. Notice your breath. Using the breath to tug your mind back to the present moment. Two more breaths here. Those look very nice. And then return your spine back to neutral. So if you were leaning back, get your weight out of your arms and get your shoulders over your pelvis. If you were leaning forward, get your shoulders back over your pelvis. And then let's see, grab onto the outside of the knees and bring the knees in and feet flat. Widen the feet a little bit here. Now take the left leg and straighten it and have it a little bit scissored to the right. Now, take your right leg, cross it over, pulling back through the foot if you can, and letting that knee start to fall forward. If the back of the knee is off the floor, then wedge a blanket or a block underneath there. If you can't do this with the knees more stacked, you could do more of an ankle to thigh here. Pull your hands against the top leg and sit up 2 inches taller. Really lengthen through the bottom leg. Look at that foot. That's your left foot. Try to get the toes facing straight up. And then maybe, leaning a little bit forward. Doesn't take much for me anyway. Shoulders down, neck stays nice and long. Hands can stay on the knee, or you could take the hands to blocks or floor. And for fun, so you get that left leg that's out straight with the toes facing up. Now for fun, try to turn those left toes to face, the whole leg turns a little bit to the right. That's lovely. Take a few breaths. I don't know if it's lovely for you. I find it incredibly lovely. Okay, relax. Take the top leg off. Set that foot on the floor. Bend the bottom knee, set that foot on the floor. Scoot your feet a little bit further out, but they stay bent. Hands on the knees. Pull against the knees. Squeeze the shoulders, the elbows down, and lift through the chest. Lengthening the spine a little bit. And then you're going to lift the elbows forward and curl. Back gently. Tuck the chin. And do 2 more of those. Chin goes up, elbows go down, shoulders go down. And then elbows up, shoulders up, head down. 1 more. You're not using the arms a whole lot. They're just helping with the movement. 1 more. Elbows up, head down. And then find neutral spine again. This time you're going to straighten your right leg, slide it more to the left. Cross the left leg on top. Remember, you could do more ankle over thigh or pull the foot over to the floor and get more knee. Straighten that bottom leg. Make sure the back of the knee is supported either by the floor or a blanket or a block. Gently pull against that top knee, grow 2 inches taller. Look at that right foot and pull the top of the foot back and have the toes facing straight up. And then keeping all those actions, maybe you're already having enough fun or you can lean a little forward. For now, keeping that right kneecap, shin, and toes facing straight up towards the ceiling. And next, you're going to turn that right foot, whole leg a little bit in. Keep it straight. Like your right toes are now looking a little bit to the left. A couple more breaths. Good. Remember, find your sweet spot where you can still breathe and it feels beneficial. You haven't overdone your position. And then start to, if you lean forward, bring the torso upright. Take the left leg out. Bend the right knee, get both feet, at least the heels down. Balls of the feet might be down too. And then we'll repeat that same movement as before. Elbows down, chest and chin go up. Elbows up, shoulders up, head down. 2 more. Nice. And then sitting up again. Now you're going to take your, that's your left foot, bend the knee and pull that foot back towards the right buttock and let the knee open. If that's not working for you, you could keep that leg straight. You could support the knee with a block or a blanket. And then the right heel pulls more back, somewhere towards that left leg. Could be back towards the ankle or shin, or more up towards the knee. Press down, and then twist to the right, unless you'd rather twist to the left. So I'll give you both of those options. Reach through the top of the head. Creating a lot of length in the spine, space in the spine as you rotate. And remember, the arms are just supporting you. They're not pulling. You're not yanking with your arms. Imagine you were balancing something on the top of your head here. Okay, untwist. Pull the left leg out. And then switch sides. Pull the right leg back or keep it straight. Bend the left knee a little bit more. Find a comfortable position. Press down. Make space in your whole spine. And then turn either towards the bent knee if that's what you did on side one, or away. Get that reaching through the top of the head like you were balancing a couple of books on your head. That's it. One more breath. And untwist. Take both legs out, straighten them. Lean back into your hands and arms, roll the legs. And transition to lying on your back. We're going to repeat a movement we did earlier. We'll actually repeat two things we did earlier. Sometimes that's interesting. Bent knees, feet flat. Get your arms in a T. And then bend the elbows so your forearms are vertical. So it's not cactus down on the floor, it's cactus with upright forearms. And do that really spread through the fingers, get that stiff wrist like your wrists were in a cast. And then you're gonna let the backs of the hands, backs of the forearms move towards the floor without compensating by bending the wrists. And maybe notice if it's any looser or easier to do that than it was before. And then start to come back through the start position and go the other way with your stiff wrists, palms of the hands, forearms towards the floor and the other way. And do each one of those 2 more times. Straight wrists. Keep those elbows bent about 90 degrees. One more. And then go out with it. So you got still your cactus arms, but you're taking the backs of the hands towards the floor. Come into your Baddha Konasana here, soles of the feet together. And we're going to repeat this one that we did earlier. So this will be the inhale, press knees and elbows open, let the lower back arch. And then exhale, squeeze arms and legs to the middle. And you slowly, as you start to squeeze, start to contract the belly, flatten the back. And do that 2 more times. Nice and easy, open, hips and shoulders. Open through the belly. And then close through the hips and the shoulders. Press through the back. One more. Okay, knees to the belly, happy baby, Apanasana, circles, whatever would feel good here. Couple more breaths. Okay, get ready for Shavasana. Grab any props that would make you more comfortable.
shake things out or tense things in order to relax them. Make sure you check where your shoulder blades ended up, and sometimes positioning them slightly differently is beneficial. Soften through the shoulders, arms, wrists, hands, and fingers. Relax through the hips, thighs, knees, ankles, feet, and toes. Relax through the torso, allowing your pelvis and spine and ribs to find a neutral, comfortable place. And then finally relaxing through forehead, eyes, jaw, lips, and neck. And beginning to bring your attention back. If it feels okay on your neck to turn your head a little bit side to side a few times. Keep the elbows on the floor, but bend them and circle the wrists. Relax the arms, bend the knees. Decide which side you're gonna roll to. Maybe bring that arm up, or if you have a blanket or a pillow under your head, you don't need to bring the arm up, rest on your side. And place your top hand firmly on the floor, kind of turn the top side of the chest towards the floor a little bit and start to press up. Great.
Namaste, thanks for tuning in. Hope you had a good practice.